According to reports, a Florida police chief and actually an entire Florida police department is under intense scrutiny right now because they're being accused of refusing to enforce Ron DeSantis' new bill that was passed to prevent people from being anti-Semitic in the state of Florida. By the way, this is one of two bills that he passed, that he signed, not in the state of Florida, not even in the United States of America, but that he flew to the country of Israel to sign. He signed these bills in the country of Israel. The second one, I guess he met with Bibi Netanyahu, and no one wants to talk about exactly what that meeting was about. And so here's this article here from Fox 35, Florida Police Department under scrutiny, accused of not enforcing a new law on anti-Semitism. And I guess it's about these people that are passing out these flyers that say White Lives Matter. And there's a bunch of different flyers that they have passed out, one on COVID and a bunch of different types of flyers that they have passed out. They stick them in Ziploc baggies full of beans, and they throw them onto people's doorsteps like the paperboy would as they drive through people's neighborhoods. And I guess they're doing this because if it's not in the bag like this, it could be considered littering. And there was another bill that I heard that was passed that was like an anti-littering law to try to deal with this before this anti-Semitism bill was passed, and it didn't work. And so now the police are being accused of not enforcing this anti-Semitism bill. We'll play this Fox News clip here in a moment, and we'll talk about exactly why the police are saying that they're not going to enforce this, which is kind of fun. You know, Ron DeSantis took this trip to Israel, made this whole big deal. I think it's called HB 269, and the police aren't enforcing it. So we'll talk about that here in a moment. We'll play that clip. Before we do, I just want to thank this video sponsor. This video has been kindly sponsored by Goldco. And as you know, Biden's America is crushing us. You have companies laying off tens of thousands of workers, one after the other. Americans are working two jobs just to get by. Inflation is out of control. Gas prices are out of control. Your money is losing its value every single day sitting in the bank. And so that's why I've partnered with a great company called Goldco, so that you can diversify your savings and investments with gold and silver before things get worse. They're offering up to $10,000 in free silver while supplies last if you reach out to them today. Qualified callers will get a free half-ounce silver coin. So we have a link in the description. You fill out this 4-question survey, and every time someone fills that out, we get credit. It helps the show tremendously. So make sure to look into that. They have gold and silver IRAs. Check it out. Links are in the description below. So before we get into this story here about the police refusing to enforce this law, I just want to bring you back here. Ron DeSantis signs legislation to combat hate crimes while on trip to Israel. He met with a bunch of rabbis. He prayed on the Western Wall, known as the Public Nuisances Bill. This is specifically meant to prevent this group of people that have been passing out these flyers, projecting things onto buildings. Mainly, I think during the whole Kanye thing is when this became a huge deal, and this HB 269 was signed by Governor Ron DeSantis. Netanyahu met with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis during his recent trip to Israel, but did not publicize it. They're not really talking about exactly what that meeting was about. And then this was back on May 30th of 2019. In Israel, Governor DeSantis signs bill to curb anti-Semitism. He flew to a foreign country to sign a bill that a foreign lobby, AIPAC, pushed for. Didn't sign it in Florida. Didn't even sign it in the United States of America. And this is the second time around. So let's get to the story here. It says the Oakland Police Department in Oakland, Florida, is falling under scrutiny for the handling of an incident involving the distribution of anti-Semitic flyers. The city decided not to charge a man for allegedly placing the hateful flyers into yards, but instead let him go because they said it was not intimidating enough to meet the state standard. Although Florida State Rep Randy Fine, Republican of Palm Bay, believes that the person responsible should have been charged under the law he wrote. Representative Fine said the law, HB 269, was drafted specifically to combat situations like this. Quote, "We passed the law. We expect you to use it," said Fine. The alleged incident was captured on camera in a Winter Garden neighborhood. The person could be seen driving by a home and tossing a plastic bag onto a driveway before driving off. The baggie, being weighed down by pellets, had a message saying "White Lives Matter" and apparently had a swastika on it. Now, this is just one of many flyers that these people have passed out. But we have this local news report here. Take a look.
Developing right now, anti-Semitic flyers tossed onto lawns of multiple homes in Orange County this weekend. It reads "White Lives Matter" and shows a swastika. Thanks for joining us at 10 o'clock. I'm Ray Vieda.
And I'm Deborah Cho. No, so far, no one has been held accountable for this. Fox 35's Patrick Perez is live in Oakland. And Patrick, the state lawmaker who actually proposed this bill, is pretty upset about this.
Yeah, Deborah, that bill makes it a crime to throw these types of flyers onto people's yards. The governor signed this bill into law just this past May. But despite this new law, one of the people involved, at least one of them, got away with just a traffic ticket. That's not a newspaper the passenger of this SUV tossed out the window in this downtown Winter Garden neighborhood. It's a plastic bag filled with beans to weigh it down and a hateful message.
To have somebody throw that at somebody's house is just, unimaginable.
The flyer, which we've blurred, contained a swastika and the phrase "White Lives Matter." It hit close to home for David, a Belgium native now living in Central Florida.
I think the connotation with the swastika is unbelievable. I think some people don't have any idea what that means.
Police confirmed the people in the SUV targeted homes in both Winter Garden and Oakland this weekend. And it was in Oakland where police pulled over the SUV the chief says was responsible for the flyer tossing. But no one was arrested, and only the driver was cited for having an expired tag. In a response to Fox 35, Chief Darren Eason called it free speech, saying in part, "While the messages being sent were offensive to many, there were no attempts at intimidation or threats being made. Making an arrest in this situation would not have fit within the guidelines of state statute." But state lawmaker Randy Fine, a Republican representing part of Brevard County, says the chief made a mistake.
The chief is clearly wrong. And look, in America, you have the right to be wrong. And we'll try to give him the remediation and the training that he needs to do his job properly.
In May, Governor Desantis signed into law a bill that makes it a misdemeanor to intentionally dump litter onto private property for the purpose of intimidating or threatening. A bill Fine, who's Jewish, co-sponsored.
If the purpose was not to intimidate or threaten, what was it? I look forward to his answer to that question.
And Fine tells me that his office will be getting in contact with the Oakland police chief to make sure that his department knows how to implement this new law. Fine hopes to get this corrected. We're live in Oakland tonight. I'm Patrick Perez, Fox 35 News.
And a lot of times, like, whenever they don't get what they want, they just go federal, right? Whenever they don't get what they want locally, they'll just go federal. They'll just try to, like, convict these people of, like, a federal hate crime or whatever. But, just imagine, if you will, if you were to hear a story about, I don't know, whatever, LGBT activists passing out flyers, like throwing them specifically onto the lawns of Christian pastors and stuff like this, that would not be a problem. That would not be any issue whatsoever. Not to, the media, of course, and certainly not to Ron DeSantis. You wouldn't see him fly to Rome to sit down with the Pope and meet with the Pope and try to pass like a law that would protect Christians. No, there's no real lobby for that, but there's a massive lobby when it comes to, like I said, passing several bills, signing several bills to combat what they call anti-Semitism in the state of Florida. Again, not signing the bills in the state of Florida or the country of America at all, but signing the bills in the state of Israel. So here's we'll read it on here. It says, "Can you tell me what the purpose of the flyer is? To put something that says White Lives Matter and a swastika on the driveway of black people or Jews. What is the purpose of that? Is it to inform? Is it to educate? Ask Fine." Well, here's the thing. Whatever you think about the flyers, whatever, gross, whatever, offensive, blah, 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 blah. Like they said, it is free speech. And this group has been passing out flyers for months and months and months, and there's been several different flyers. I think they did one about COVID. They've done one about immigration. In April, HB 269 was passed by the Florida legislature. It prohibits the distribution of hateful material and reclassifies those offenses. Under the law, someone passing out flyers targeting one's religion or ethnicity can be charged with a misdemeanor. Fine says if the flyer contains a credible threat, it can become a felony charge. The law also includes stricter charges for harassing people and projecting hate speech onto buildings, like what was seen in Volusia County. So there was there was this thing that was projected onto different buildings in Florida. I think it was like the University of Florida or something. I think that was one of them. And it just said, like, Ye is right. Kanye West is right about the Jews. I think that's what it said. That's what one of them said anyway. Meanwhile, here's Texas. Now, granted, this is Austin, Texas. But, they don't seem, Desantis and others, Ted Cruz, they don't seem too concerned, as concerned about, stuff like this as they do anti-Semitic flyers being passed out on people's lawns in, like, very specific parts of Florida. But you've got and I've never seen this flag before, this, like, new LGBT whatever flag with, like, the circle in it. I don't know. Is that, like, map now? Are they finally adding, like, pedophile to the flag, which we all knew would happen? You've got this Mexican place, Amor is Amor. I mean, this is all through, like, Che Guevara. You've got Che Guevara Street, which, if they only knew. This is Southwest Airlines here. What else we got? Yeah, here's another Southwest Airlines in the Austin airport. Texas. Ted Cruz's Texas. Anyway, that's what we have on the Ron DeSantis bill there. Make sure to check out the links in the description, like I said, for Goldco. Fill out that questionnaire. Make sure to check out heavensharvest.com. Promo code Christ is King, all one word. We've got 25-year shelf life food supply. We've got seed kits. We've got water filter systems. They've got canned foods. We get credit for every single order from that site. heavensharvest.com. Promo code Christ is King, all one word. Check it out. Links are in the description below. Since we've been banned from every mainstream platform that exists, we need your support for the show to survive. You can support by subscribing to my Subscribe-Star for $5 a month to get access to exclusive content and more at other tiers. You can also support by using cryptocurrency, our P.O. Box, and as always, going to preparewithvincent.com or waterwithvincent.com to get your 25-year shelf life dry food supply or water filter systems. Check out dailyveracity.com/support to find all the links. It helps the show tremendously.